I and what do I do? I am Ryan. I go by Mr. KOA online, but if you know me personally, I go by Ryan. Who am I? It's a tough question. I guess I'm a creative. Everyone calls themselves creative. I think I'm truly a creative. I started off as a basketball player. That's all I really wanted to do when I was a kid. And after getting injured, that changed, and I did a complete switch, and now I'm behind the scenes more. As of recently, I do photography and videography, as well as prints, video design, web design, graphic design. Just a lot. I'm in the creative space a lot, but I'm not as much in the basketball scene, but I still try and get my hands mixed into it as much as possible to get my fix. In hindsight, it's funny to say, but I think being injured is probably the best thing that could happen to me, which if you told me that when I got injured, I'd probably punch myself. But in hindsight, being injured is probably the best thing that could happen for me now, because I feel like if I was still playing basketball and I wasn't hurt, I'd probably be a great player, but I think I would just be a basketball player. And I think getting injured allowed me to focus on other aspects of myself and my skill set, and try and expand certain things that I may not have even cared to do or really had to do if I was just playing basketball and hadn't got hurt. My main goal now has evolved as I've aged. Now my biggest pursuit is to really, change and touch as many people as possible. And I think that's kind of another main reason why I'm glad I got injured, because I've explained this before in different interviews I've done, that if I was still playing basketball is a very selfish skill. You're a player, you're part of a team, but being a basketball player, it's all about you. You train hard to be better for yourself. You want to be the best player, you want to get MVP, you want to get all these awards, these personal awards, but there's very little touch you can do on other people. Like, me being a good basketball player doesn't really help you in any way. You like to watch me, but it doesn't help the other person. But now that I do videos for people, I do weddings, I do brands, I'm doing birthday parties. I'm changing people's lives. I'm creating content that they have for the rest of their lives. They can share with people, share with their family, and I'm getting a joy out of doing that, as well as learning and growing my brand. Having the ability to create something and help someone else through my skill set is really what my life is about right now, and I love it every day. Quitting my job, permanently quitting my job. I've quit before. A couple years ago I quit my job, but I didn't quit to really go full time. I just kind of quit because it didn't feel right. It wasn't a good job, bad environment. So I did quit my job before, but I did take up another job after that because I still wanted to get money, and I didn't really have a steady income to have an alternative. But now, as of this January 2018, I quit my job indefinitely. My desktop, I had a good desk job. I was working full time, had benefits, salary, all that stuff, and I didn't want it. And I was doing photography, videography on the side, and creation and stuff. And while I was working full time, I was doing these things on the side, and I would get to work on Mondays, and I would hate it. And I'd wait for the weekend, and some people wait for the weekend to party. I'd wait for the weekend so I could work on my stuff. I love the weekend because it allowed me to do my photos, all the weddings and everything I was doing on the weekend. So I would have no weekend, and then I go back to work on Monday, and I'm just I enjoy the weekends only. So it's it got to a point, one day I got to work, and I saw 30 emails unread in my inbox, and I said, I'm done. I looked at my computer, I'm done. Today I'm done. That day I wrote up my termination letter. A few weeks after that, I was done, and my first trip, I was out. And since then, I haven't looked back, and the amount of things I've experienced since then is super surreal. That's a good question. If I could offer advice to myself, a younger me, or someone else like me, I would probably say you know when you know. I feel like people think that everyone has the same timeline, and we don't. So there are times where someone might see me quit my job and be like, oh, I can quit my job. If it doesn't feel right for you, it's not when you quit. But when you know, and when the feeling is right, that is when you quit. And whenever that feeling is, listen to it, because it might not be the same time I quit, but whenever you get that feeling where it's like the day I came to work and I was like, I'm done, that was my time. And you might reach that point at a different time, but when you do, listen to it. Because looking back now, which I've told my friends about, which is really, really crazy to think about, is had I not quit the exact day I quit, nothing I'm doing right now would exist. Because the time frame of when I quit allowed me to meet certain people, allowed me to go to an all-star game, to go to LA, to travel, to go here, go to here. If I was like, I'm gonna wait one more month, let's say I still quit, so I'd be like, yeah, you still quit your job, but I would have missed things that wouldn't even exist now. And the crazy part about it is I wouldn't even know that I missed them. You know what I mean? Because like I would have still quit and be like, okay, like I'm freelance, I'm free now. But I would have no idea that had I quit 1 month earlier, I could have been so much further. So whenever you feel that feeling where it's like it feels right, do it. My siblings. So I'm the oldest of 6 siblings. Yeah, that is my drive, that's my motivation. I've always been the leader. I've always been big brother. I've always been the one that does everything first. Like I have to go to university first. I have to make the team first. I have to get a job first. I have to babysit first. Like I do everything first. And when I was, my closest brother is 3 years younger than me. So for 3 years I was the only child. So like I was used to just learning by myself. Like so that feeling of being first and doing things first and trial and error, and I think I'm just naturally innate now and just used to that feeling. And I think that's what keeps me going, because I have no fear of doing things first, because I'm just so used to it. And I know that they're behind me watching. So for me to quit, I can't quit. Like in my mind, I'm like, if I quit, then I feel all of them. And I refuse to do that. They're extremely important. If you have no reason and you're not aware of why you're doing something, you'll take days off. I don't take days off. I don't slack. I don't complain. Like if you have a reason, you have a why behind what you're doing, you'll have no time to complain. And complaining will just seem stupid to you. It's like, well, I'm being lazy to do something. If I have a reason to do it, me being lazy will no longer be an excuse. Because if you have no reason, no purpose behind what you're doing, it allows room for excuses. You're like, okay, I'm a little bit too tired. Like instead of me saying I'm too tired, I'm like, if I don't do this, they don't do well, right? So it's like, I'm not just failing myself anymore. It's easy to just fail yourself and be like, oh, I'm just gonna give up on myself. But when you know that someone's watching, or other people are watching, or even bigger than my siblings, like I now have a following of people that watch my stuff daily. I get messages from strangers that I don't know. They're saying, because of you, I'm confident to do this, and because of you, like I was able to, work on my passion or whatever. Like, so the more I get messages like that, it's like I can't stop, because the worst feeling for me is if I quit one day and because of me, someone else quits. Like I couldn't live with that. I think that's what everyone should be doing right now. I mean, the fact that you guys have, kind of put into a very concentrated aspect is amazing. I think a lot of people need to determine what they are driven by. Like these questions are great people to, like startups or even people that already have successful businesses. Like just because you get successful, some people will lose the bare minimum or bare reason of why they're doing what they're doing. So it's easy to forget why you started something. It's easy to forget who you're impacting and who you're benefiting. Once you get successful, once you experience a little bit of success, you forget who helped you there, who got you there, why you're doing it, or the reason behind it. And once money gets involved, it's so cloudy. People are like, they start doing things for the money, for the job, and just to get things done real quick. It's like, if you always have the core value and the core reason of why you're doing something, you'll never get distracted and you'll just always excel. So I think what you guys are doing is absolutely great, for the culture, for the economy, for society, for your peers. Just to ask the hard questions. Some people just want to get rich, but they don't know why they want to get rich. It's like, oh, I want to be rich. Why? I just want money. For what? Like, what are you gonna do with it? Like, if you toss them $1 million, they won't know what to do with it. If you gave me $1 million, I would know exactly what I'd spend it dollar by dollar. So it's important to have that aspect behind things. Lots and lots of laughter, lots and lots of traveling, and a beautiful family, and just a good supporting cast around me. I only keep people around me that motivate me and that I can motivate as well. I've let go of a lot of friends or acquaintances, you can call them, that don't benefit me anyway or are pulling me down. And I found a way to separate myself without being disrespectful. Like, some people feel like if you stop hanging around a group of friends, that means you guys, there's bad blood between. No, like, sometimes you just outgrow friends, or sometimes you have to acknowledge it's like, you guys are okay with being regular and I'm not. So nothing personal to you guys, but if you guys are okay with doing this, I'm not, so I'm gonna have to leave. So I pull myself out of a lot of situations to allow myself to excel. So in the future, I just see myself surrounded by a lot of people, like-minded people. One of the biggest challenges for me is to find someone, which I'm still working on, is trying to find somebody that I can look up to. I've always been that person everyone looks up to. I've always been that person that's like, oh, Ryan's doing this, Ryan's doing this. People always talk about me and talk about how much I'm doing, and which is great, and I love, and it's super humble to hear that kind of stuff. But for me to grow, I need to find someone that I look at like that. And I think that's my difficulty. Like, I love my parents, but they are in my space. They aren't doing what I'm doing. They're still working day jobs. Like, so I need to find someone more successful than I am, who's done the mistakes that I may have not reached yet, so I can excel. I think that's the only way I'll get to the next level, and that's something I'm really trying to find for myself.